All right, all right. Happy Saturday. Captain Hendog out here with all the emojis. Shout outs to the new followers. Gadget underscore girl. I don't think I noticed you followed me the last time I went streaming, but yeah, thank you. Miss Patron. Also appreciate your follow. All right. So, Saturday can't make me drink. No, today is not a day of drinking, my good friends. Today is not a good It's not a day of drinking and playing video games today. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be talking about cryptocurrencies and ways that I earn passive income. Uh, the market's been in a shitstorm the last couple of days, and everything is going down, which is fine. It's typically a good time to buy in situations like that. If you know, you know. So, just kind of getting into things. Kind of want to just talk about things because I've been in crypto a couple months. Found the shit super interesting, and I've been doing very decent for myself, very well for myself. I'd even like to say, and everything about it is fascinating. I'm learning things every single day. Got to try things out. Like I got to stay on top of things because like the space is forever changing, and like so much, like so little time passes, but it feels like so much time can pass sometimes when we're talking about crypto and stuff. And I notice, like I have a lot of friends and stuff that are into crypto now, and we're talking about things on a regular basis, and even some of them only recently are starting to kind of get into some of the stuff that I'm into that's earning them passive income. So, just thought it'd be a good time to share my knowledge, let people know what's going on, and yeah, what I'm doing. I guess one of the first things to say, like any other person that talks about cryptocurrency on a live stream where people might be potentially watching, is anything that I'm saying is obviously not financial advice. I'm very much a student to this crypto game myself, and so I'm also learning. And this isn't me, recommending that you do these things. This is just me sharing what I've learned so far, and how it's helped me out, and that I've earned money. I can attest for these things, and so I can talk about it with confidence because it's doing well for me. If somebody decides to watch this, yeah, the VOD's being saved. The VOD is being saved. So, if someone decides to watch this at one point, then you can do what I'm doing. That's fine. And if you lose all your money, there's a good chance that I lost all my money as well. So we're in it together. I'm gonna be talking about like three or four different protocols. Three of them that I've been using for quite some time, whereas one I've only recently got into. It's pretty new, and there's obviously going to be pros and cons to all of that stuff. And I guess the first thing that I want to jump into when I'm talking about these stuff is probably osmosis zone. And the reason why I want to talk about osmosis zone first is because that's kind of where my crypto journey began. I started off with purchasing Atom, an altcoin. If you're into that, it's just a cryptocurrency. It's just another word for cryptocurrency. Most people that get into the space, they they look into Bitcoin, they look into Ethereum, they look into those things first, and those are the more popular coins. But there are many different altcoins, and the one that I first started buying into was Atom. For those of you that don't know Atom, I'm not going to get into hyper detail, but all blockchains, at this point, they're essentially isolated islands. So each of them have their own laws, their own rules. It makes it difficult to navigate between these blockchains. For example, some of you might be aware that Solana has NFTs, Ethereum has NFTs. You can't buy Solana NFTs on Ethereum and vice versa. So it's not easy for these things to be interacted with as things are right now. And that's kind of where Atom comes in, because they're one of the projects that aim to fix the issue and to be a solution for interoperability. The chain, the people that created the chain, they are self-described as the Internet of Blockchains. That's what they want to be. And currently, Atom is like in the top 20 in cryptocurrency. It's very easy to check, I guess, if we pull up the CoinGecko and see what's going on. Uh, Taking a look at actually it's 19th right now. So I it's moving on up. And while everything has been dipping, Cosmos has also been dipping, but it's been holding pretty well, I have to say. But back to Osmosis Zone. So, one of the first things that I want to talk to everybody about is something called an automated market maker. And to make things very simple, Saint Smith, thank you. First time viewer. Appreciate it. Appreciate the first time chat. We're just talking about Osmosis Zone right now. And like I said, an automated market maker is essentially basically a program that automatically makes the trades that you want on certain cryptocurrencies. So if I were to go to trade, you see that there is a long list of different cryptocurrencies. Probably better to just look in the assets section, and you can see a list of different cryptocurrencies that Osmosis Zone has to offer. So one of the first things you do when you first start holding crypto is just holding it. You don't really know too much. This guy's telling me to shush. You don't know too much about crypto. You know that it goes up and down. There's validity into it, but you can make the crypto work for you essentially. And this is done. And the way that these trades work in automated market makers is, a bunch of people, all of us, we pool our money into it, and we create these things called liquidity pools. So with the liquidity pools, as you can see here on Osmosis Zone, there is a ton of different liquidity pools that you can pool your money into. And essentially what you would want to be doing here is, take two different cryptocurrencies, two popular pairs, and that way when people are on Osmosis Zone and they're making trades between those two coins, you're inside of that liquidity pool, and you're making a percentage off of every single transaction based off of the size of your liquidity. So let's say pool number one right now is Atom and Osmo. So what you would have to do to add liquidity is you would have to put equal amounts Atom and equal amounts Osmo. That's actually not even true anymore now looking at this. It looks like Osmosis Zone has changed up the way that things are being done. And you don't even need to have equal pairings. You can put, you can make it one-sided, and you can make it 100% Atom or 100% Osmo if you want to do it like that. If you do that, there is a price impact, of course. And it says right here, single asset liquidity providing allows you to provide liquidity using one asset. However, this will impact the pool price of the asset that you're providing liquidity with. So I would guess if that's the case, then you're putting one cryptocurrency into one of these things, and it would probably skew the price of the pool if it goes too one-sided on either side. It's always probably best to just do it with equal pairings. So you have $100 worth of Atom, $100 worth of Osmo. You add the liquidity, and it gives you something called LP tokens. And the LP tokens, you can see, will be right in this area that my face is currently covering. But there is a button right here, right underneath my face, that says Start Earning. So you click on Start Earning, and it gives you three options. And this is basically how long it's going to take you to unbond your cryptocurrency. If at one point you want to take your money out of the liquidity pool and you want to use it for other things, or you want to sell it, or you want to come out of crypto or put it elsewhere. So you have the 1 day, the 7 day, the 14 day. If you put it in for 14 days, you want to take it out. Obviously, you need 2 weeks before you can take it out. Some people don't want to wait that long, so they'll put the unbonding period for a day. After a day, they can take their funds out. It's not an issue. Now, when you are taking these things out, for whether it's a day, 7 days, or 14 days, you're not earning any rewards during that time. So, keep that in mind as well. So, you can take it out at any time, that's fine, but when you take it out, there is an unbonding period and you are not going to be able to get rewards at that time. But in the meantime, while you are in these liquidity pools, you can go to your assets, and every day, it's different cycles for different things on Osmosis Zone. Every epic, it runs for a day. So every 24 hours, the website will give you rewards based off of, the amount of people that are making trades in the liquidity pool that you are in. And this can be large amounts, this can be small amounts. It's just proportional to how much money you put in. You're going to be making a lot more rewards on a daily basis if you have an exuberant amount of cash in there. But even if you're only putting $100 in, you're going to see yourself making some kind of money. It won't be a lot, but it'll be something, and it's money that you've basically earned just having your money sit there. Another thing that you can do if you didn't want to do liquidity pools is staking. And I'm not going to get too much into staking today because, you do earn passive income with any kind of staking. If you have cryptocurrency that stakes, it's something that will earn you passive income. It just won't earn you as much. But what you can essentially do is you can stake it. It's the same thing, except for the unbonding period is usually 2 to 3 weeks in that situation. But it's a more stable passive income that you can, earn over time. That's my little rundown for Osmosis. And moving on to the next thing that I wanted to discuss is another automated market maker that I like to use. Business minded, appreciate the follow, thank you very much. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream. We just covered Osmosis Zone. If you missed it, feel free to come back later and check out that portion. But another automated market maker that I like to use is something called SwiftChain. So SwiftChain uses a different token. It's a lot further down. Saint Smith, appreciate the follow. Thank you very much for showing the love. So Ronin is a different coin. Where Atom is like in the top 20, this one is a very degenerate play. It's been going down a bit lately. But it's ranked 592 in terms of CoinGecko's rankings of coins right now. But I do like to use Rowan because the rewards that you get on here are still pretty good. So with Rowan, they are one of the first omni-chain dexes in the space. You can connect multiple wallets to this, and you can trade with a very relative ease. So back to Osmosis Zone, jumping through Osmosis Zone. I'm Lit Games. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. So back to Osmosis Zone. You can see here that you can connect a wallet. The only wallets that give you options is Wallet Connect and Kepler Wallet. Kepler Wallet's pretty much the wallet that you'd be using in Osmosis Zone. But with SwiftChain, it's a little bit different. If you go to Connect Wallets, they have a whole list of different wallets that you can connect to. Including the Terra Station wallet, the Ethereum MetaMask wallet, and other things as well. So it's good because you can connect all your wallets here. You can bring all of your funds relatively easily into this system, and you can also make swaps here. It's the same thing with liquidity pools. You can go into the pool portion. It's taking a little bit longer to load today. It's taking a long time to load. Let me refresh that. No, I'm not connecting any of my wallets right now. Maybe it won't show me the pools right now because I don't have anything connected. But it's the same thing. Typically, you go to the pool section. It has a bunch of different combinations of pools that you can put money into. You can either put it 50-50 split and put 50% whatever coin you're looking at. This carries a ton of things, including Atom, including Ethereum. So whatever you think is a popular coin swap that you're going to see on here, you can put that in there and you'll same thing earn interest off of the coins that you're earning at a relatively same rate, almost identical to Osmosis Zone. The difference is with Sift Chain right now is they typically have bonuses on some of these pools, and they can earn you up to 300% APR while those pools are going on. And they don't go on for a full year. It's usually like a span of a couple of weeks where you get these bonus pools. But with Rowan and the Dex Sift chain, it's basically you can pull this money out at any time. It's not like Osmosis, where you have to lock it in for a certain period of time, whether it's 1 day, 7 days, or 14 days. With Rowan and the Sift Dex chain, or the Dex Sift chain, you can pull it out at any time, and it's beneficial for that. The only other difference here is where with Osmosis Zone you can pull money out on a daily basis and you're getting rewarded on a daily basis. You're only getting paid out weekly with SiftChain, and with SiftChain, I believe their payout day is on Tuesdays, so you have Monday until I think it's like 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or something like that, or 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, to claim your weekly rewards, and then you get those rewards that you claimed out on Tuesdays. I don't want to mess around with that cutoff date because I like to get my rewards relatively steadily. So I just usually cash everything on Sunday, and then it basically rolls over for Tuesday. And yeah, that's just the way that I do things on SiftChain. Now again, SiftChain coin is a little bit less popular, so obviously use at your own risk. And I guess one thing, because we're talking about automated market makers and liquidity pools, that I should warn anybody about is that when you're looking into these kind of things, there is risk everywhere, and the risk with liquidity pool is impermanent loss. Um, Permanent loss basically happens when you're providing liquidity to a liquidity pool, and then the price of your deposited assets changes compared to when you deposited them. So the bigger that the change is, obviously, the more exposed to impermanent loss you are. To make an example of things, you put, let's say one Ethereum is worth $100, and you put a stable coin, let's say USDT, on the other side of that liquidity pool, also worth $100. Now, you've had your liquidity in this pool for about 4 months, and in that time, you would basically have your ETH has gone up in price. Let's say it's worth $400 now, and it's now kind of skewed the pool because now it's 400 US dollars for one Ethereum, and when you put it in, it was one Ethereum for 100 US dollars. So essentially, you have the arbitrage people to come in, they take money out of the pool so that it's equal again, and when they give you back that money, you might only have zero point 0.5 Ethereum at this point, and a larger amount of USDT, and which is fine because it's the same amount of money that you kind of put in originally. But had you just held that money, you would have made a lot more in that situation. And that's kind of a brief rundown of impermanent loss, I suppose. If you don't want any loss, and I mean impermanent loss, it's for me at least, it's never been big enough of an issue for me to put it in. I don't have large enough balances where I'm really worried about impermanent loss. I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm teaching crypto today, Flobes, but I'm talking about some ways that I'm earning passive income. And yeah, I'm really passionate about crypto. I like to see people in the space. I want to see people that don't know about it kind of jump into it and maybe learn some things, maybe do it themselves, and maybe make themselves some money. I'm just kind of sharing my experience. I wouldn't call it teaching, but yeah, it could be teaching, I guess. I just want to make sure that Professor Overlord. Yeah, I just want to make sure that people are good, man. Really and truly. Um, so that's kind of liquidity pools. The other thing that I want to talk about today is another one that I like to use a lot. I would say probably after Osmosis Zone, this is my second biggest of the plays in terms of passive income, and that's something called Anchor Protocol. Anchor Protocol is a little bit different because where Osmosis Zone and Sift Chain, they come in. Sift Chain pays you out on a weekly basis. Osmosis Zone pays you out on a daily basis. This also kind of pays out daily, but the strategy is a little bit different. And the way that the reason why this strategy is different is you kind of have to look at this kind of like a very high interest savings account. And basically, the way it works is you have the earn page, and let's say I had some money on it. Again, I'm not connecting my wallets or anything like that. It's a very informal stream, and I'm not trying to get robbed. Um, but let's say I had like $1,000 to kind of put inside of a year. Instead of putting it inside my savings account, I don't trust the banks. I don't like, fucking fiat currency because they just keep printing more of it and it's going to be worth less and less, in my opinion. So I want to put things in stable coins. The stablecoin that Anchor Protocol uses is something called UST, and I'll talk about UST and Luna a little bit more in a second. But essentially, you put your stablecoins, which are basically typically at least backed to the dollar. The UST isn't because it's an algorithmic stable coin, but you're earning 20% APY a year compounded daily on that $1,000 that you're making. So you put $1,000 in. At the end of the year, you've probably made yourself about $200 interest. And obviously, the more that you put in, the nicer that 20% sounds. And, at one point, that's like a serious passive income. And again, if you had money in here, you can kind of slide between the day, the week, the month, and the year, but you'd be able to see how much you're earning daily, how much you're earning weekly, how much you're earning monthly, how much you're earning yearly. So it's kind of like a high interest savings account, but what you're really doing is, you're basically providing Anchor Protocol with some money, or you're lending your money out so that other people can borrow it. Before I get into the borrow function, I want to talk a little bit about Luna a little bit. I am very bullish on the Terra Luna ecosystem. It is, I would say it's about 25% of my entire portfolio right now, currently. And essentially, the way that Luna works, it's basically has an algorithmic stablecoin again, UST. It has a bunch of other stablecoins as well for different countries and stuff as well, but UST is the biggest one. And for you to mint any UST, and that's again their stablecoin, you have to burn an equivalent amount of Luna, and vice versa. So if you want more Luna, then a certain portion of UST gets burned so that you have that Luna. And this makes Luna a deflationary stablecoin, which is a fancy way of basically saying the more UST that's minted, the less Luna that's available, because Luna has a total supply. You can't go over that supply. You can't make more of it. The less Luna, the scarcer it is, and the scarcer a coin, the more valuable it is. So you could potentially get to a point where there's a very limited amount of Luna, and the price of Luna has skyrocketed because of it. So going back to Anchor Protocol, the way that the borrow function works is that you can put in different cryptocurrencies. Right now, it only offers BETH, which is basically bonded Ethereum, and BLuna, which is bonded Luna, and you can put those assets into the borrow. They're still your assets. You're still keeping them, and you can basically go and you can borrow money using that as leverage. And I believe it only gives you, hold on, I don't think it'll show me right now because of the fact that I don't actually have anything in here. But typically there's a slider that tells you how much that you can actually borrow. And essentially you can borrow anywhere up to, I believe, 50% of your collateral and the total value of that. So let's say you have, again, we'll say $100 of Luna and ETH put together. You have it inside the borrow function. That $100 of Luna and ETH is still yours, but you can now also borrow an additional $50. What would you do with that $50? That depends. You could buy more Luna and, continue to stack that particular asset. You can speculate on NFTs, and you can take a gamble. You see an NFT project that you really like. It might be $50. You don't want to give up any of your assets, but you don't have $50 at the time. Or then you go into the borrow function, you borrow some money, you go into that NFT, it does well, you get it, you flip it, maybe you now made $150 off that $50 NFT. You can pay back your loan. Now you've made $100, and you didn't use any of your money to do so. You use, you backed your assets for collateral, but you didn't actually use them. You didn't have to cash them in. You didn't have to sell them. Um, Obviously, one thing to be concerned about for borrowing, and you should always kind of keep an eye on, is the amount that you have borrowed out. 50% is very high. I would never have 50% of my total collateral, or my total assets as collateral, or sorry, my total collateral as a loan at one time, because of the fact that you could get liquidated. And essentially what being liquidated means is, at a certain percentage, or when that borrowed value hits a certain percentage of your overall collateral value, um, Anchor Protocol will basically sell off some of your assets to make sure that you can actually pay the loan back. Now, the only way that your collateral value would increase, let's say you put it at 45%, and then all of a sudden your assets kind of go down in price. Again, we're having a really insane time right now in cryptocurrency, where Ethereum is pretty low right now. It's like, I believe, sub 2,000 at this point. I could be wrong. It may have gone back up, or may have started bouncing. And even Luna, which was at like $78 or $75 the last couple of days ago, is now at $65. Now, if that goes down low enough and you've borrowed too much money, then your cryptocurrency isn't as valuable anymore, and they gotta kind of cash out some of your assets so that they can make sure that their money is being paid back. So always make sure that if you are borrowing from here, that you're not borrowing a lot. I personally, when I'm borrowing from here, and if I do want to borrow from here, I try to keep it between that 20 or 30% range. Borrowing's a little bit riskier, and my assumption to anybody who's watching is probably that you're learning cryptocurrency, or you might be interested, but you might be holding it and you don't know about these things. Do your research before borrowing. Stick to the earn function, because the earn function is basically a way for you to earn very stable passive income, and it's not the highest amount. It's only, again, 20% of your money APY, but it's compounded, and that's nice. But it's a stable way to earn. If you go back to pools like SIFT again, it's like 300% APR, which is crazy and it's insane, but you have the risk of impermanent loss. If you go back to Osmosis Zone and you're looking at the liquidity pools, you'll actually see what it's paying you out on APR. And again, 68%, 67%. Going up to the higher pools, you're seeing 100%. They pay out really nice, but again, you have that risk of impermanent loss, where with Anchor, it's a pretty stable 20%. Those are my three main plays. Oh, yes, let you in voice chat. I'm going to bring in my good friend Theo Beams right now, because everything that I've pretty much learned from crypto, I've learned a lot of it from him. So, Theo, if you go into any of those lobby channels that are in my Discord, I will drag you in and we can talk a little bit more about it. All right.
Hello,
Hello, sir.
what's going on?
I'm just out here spreading the good word, sir.
Of course, of course. How's your day been?
It's been good, man. I had that NFT, that Joyride NFT that came out, and I made a little profit on it. So
Oh, okay.
they did very well, and then they went back down, and then
It's still up again
they went back right back up. Yeah,
then.
so it's looking good. I'm sure there's many things as you're watching me streaming that you'd like to comment on. So feel free to do so.
No, no, it's you're doing great, man.
Yeah, well, I'm
You're doing
trying. I'm
great.
trying. I'm
Yeah,
trying.
I've
Um,
learned a lot.
I was kind of talking about osmosis and Sif chain and Anchor protocol. Um, I kind of, with you on here, I kind of want to go through Mirror Protocol, which I don't. I have a little bit of stuff in Mirror Protocol, but not a
Mhm.
lot. But
Mhm.
you can kind of describe it
Yeah,
and
yeah.
talk about it a little bit more than I can. So if you want to take over for a second, I might ask you a couple questions while I'm going through here. But yeah.
Yeah. So Mirror Finance is actually the first application that launched on Terra. and yeah, it's an OG, man. Like this project launched maybe last year after September, so like yeah, October, November. They started with a very few assets, maybe like five to seven, which was, you know, your blue chips, the FANG stocks, the ones that you see there, yeah, Apple, Amazon, uh, you know, I don't even think they had Facebook.
Yeah, they have a
So
lot of them now. Like I see Netflix and like,
yeah, Tesla was the one of the first ones, but now they have everything, right? And what's beautiful about it, I mean, you can kind of take a quick, or you don't even have to take a quick look. What you can just see right there is the Oracle price and then the pool price.
hmm.
So the Oracle price is like the actual market value. So you could kind of like, I guess, test it or check it.
So these
It's
aren't
like
actual stocks; these are synthetic stocks as well, which is
they
something to
are
point out.
synthetic. So yeah, I'll explain how they work. But yeah, it's a synthetic crypto stock market exchange, right? So you are going to have some price differences between the actual stock price and the synthetic asset. But I mean, a 2x in the stock market is going to be a 2x on Mirror Protocol. Like they do track pretty well together, right? Like you're not going to see something 2x and then you go to Mirror and you have like a 50% increase, right? Like it's going to be generally around that same price.
So I'm looking at some of these prices, like for again, just looking at Apple because it's the one on the top. But
Mhm.
like, so the pool price is $157 right now, whereas the Oracle price or the true price is $161. So if I were to, so if I were to like go into the pool, or if I was to buy, like one stock of Apple right now, what
Mhm.
I'd be able to buy it for $157 US, right?
Yeah, that's the idea.
Would I be
Yeah.
able to sell it then for 161 afterwards because that's the Oracle price?
You would be betting on the system to correct itself to end up being the right price,
So
right?
essentially, so what we see here is that, right now, even with Airbnb, it's $160 in the pool. The Oracle price is 155. So at that point, you see, okay, it's actually more right now if I were to sell this right now before the Oracle realizes and catches back up.
Yeah, so this is where I'll explain kind of how the market works is like when the price goes above the market oracle price, you have like this incentive to now borrow shares of Airbnb and short it, right? So
Hmm.
you'll say, hey, like the price of this is too high. I'm going to sell to take UST, so take US dollars, borrow let's say $100 worth of Airbnb, and then I'll sell it, or let's say one share worth of Airbnb. I'll sell it on the open market, and when the Oracle price and the pool price come back into line, I'll buy back that share and pay back my loan
Yeah, because you're
because
shorting
you're
it.
borrowing. Yeah, you're shorting it, so you're borrowing one synthetic share, and you sell it into the pool, and then you buy it back when the price goes back under
When the pool
control.
price goes to the Oracle price.
Yeah, so
Because
you
you,
in this case, because of Airbnb, the spread is like $5. Like you'd be capturing like a $5 spread right there.
right, I understand. Okay.
Mhm.
It's pretty cool, actually. Yeah.
So if you do it in size, right, like that's like a you capture 3% on like $100,000. Like
It's
that's
three
like
grand that you've
three
made
grand right there.
probably pretty quickly
Yeah,
again because the pool like the at that point you're just waiting for the pool price to correct itself down to the Oracle price.
exactly. And like it's not guaranteed that it'll always go back,
Yeah,
but it
because I
does.
guess the Oracle price could probably also go up before the pool
Yeah,
price goes down. Yeah.
yeah. And in this case, it's cool because I mean, you don't really care about the price of the share. You just care that it's like back to par,
Right.
so that you can buy back the difference and then just pocket like the extra shares that you have.
See here that the Polkadot's a little bit higher than what the Oracle price is here as well, so you could do the same thing for 7% in
Yeah, you
that.
look for the big spreads, and that those are the ones that you're incentivized. And probably, I mean, at this point now you can go to the farms And let's look at like Polkadot. So look at the left there and click on farms.
Yep.
And now like let's look for Polkadot, M dot.
Yep.
Well, right now the that's interesting. So they're incentivizing you more to long it than to short it, which is interesting.
So I guess
I,
that means that if you were holding, let's say that you decided you're gonna, purchase this synthetic Polkadot, and you
mhm.
wanted to hold it for a year, they would basically be paying, at least at this point, they'd be paying you out about 19% to basically hold it on the year. And then on top of that, if that price of Polkadot appreciates, you'd be making money off the appreciation of that asset as well, correct?
Yeah, so the farm that you're the token that you're earning from there is mirror. You're earning mirror tokens.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean the APR is very volatile, right? Like it changes with the price of mirror, but it also changes based on the incentives. But yeah, I mean just for buying and selling and trading stocks, you're essentially like you could earn some interest. Um, Now, mind you, the long farm, like you see how you're talking about impermanent loss,
Right.
the long farm is a pool, like you're pooling your tokens with UST. So there's like a lot of um, impermanent loss there. Like if you have a 2x in a pool with UST with like a stable coin,
Mm-hmm.
you're giving up 50% of that 2x.
Immediately.
Right? Yeah. So like you'll end up with, you know, $150 instead of 200 if you started with 100.
Got it. Got it.
So, um, if you scroll down a bit though, there's a lot of strat, but with this, right? Like this is like stable returns, and stocks don't move fast anyway. So impermanent loss is not very bad. Like you have a lot more trading and fees going into that pool than you have like IL.
Got it.
So you don't have to worry too much about impermanent loss in these pools. Like impermanent loss is more of a problem when you're like, oh, I started at this pool 6 months ago and now Apple's like two times the price. Well, it's like, I mean, you should have been pulling out during the peaks, selling and then buying the dips and going back into the pool, right? Like there's strategies that you can do with this so that you're a little bit more on top of shit, but that's neither here nor there. I
All
mean,
right.
this is great.
Yeah, that's I guess a brief rundown of Mirror then.
One quick thing I want to say.
Yep.
I mean, you know me, I'm always about details. Go back, yeah. Go
To Anchor?
scroll down.
Oh, the Mirror.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, no, it's a mirror.
Oh,
It's a mirror.
okay.
So scroll down a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll see. Is that Gold Trust? Yeah, the MIAU.
Yeah.
So you see how the long farm, the interest rate is like 9% right now.
Right.
You're pretty much getting paid 9% to hold gold.
Right, because that's basically gold, and you're getting a synthetic representation of said gold.
Yeah, and so pooling that, like the IL is extremely low because gold doesn't move fast. And then even if it does move, like that 9% that you're getting, that's way more than gold will probably move.
Appreciate, or yeah, or even I guess if even if it depreciates in value even
You're
slightly,
still
it's
making
still
money.
you'll make some money there in that gold one. I
Yeah,
understand that. Yeah, so I mean, I
yeah.
guess with tech stocks and stuff, they're a little bit more volatile than something like gold, which you already know is going to be steady along the route.
Which
But
which I'm surprised that it's even 7%. I mean 9%.
so I get, so
Like
I
I
guess,
thought it would be lower.
so I guess because one of the things like as I'm looking at this is like, why would anybody want to, get a mirrored version of a cryptocurrency that you can just get the cryptocurrency of? But and then when I'm looking at something like Bitcoin, for example, Bitcoin's going super down right now, and I mean, you're probably not going to have the same benefits as gold if it goes down and you're only earning this 10%. But I guess this is to earn 10% additional on the Bitcoin that you're investing in, I guess, or the mirrored
Yes, you're
Bitcoin that you're
farming.
investing
You're
in.
farming. You're farming mirror tokens.
Right.
So yeah, you're getting these tokens on top of just holding Bitcoin with a lower risk volatility. Like when the price goes down, you're also getting a bit less of that volatility into the downside as well. So, having pool tokens with stable coins isn't the worst thing. You're just reducing your volatility.
Okay. So that's it about Mirror, then I would say before I move on to the last of the automated market makers that I'm looking at, we've talked about Osmosis Zone, we've talked about Sift Chain, we've talked about Anchor Protocol. In your opinion, which one do you like the most and why?
No, they all go together, man.
They do, and they go
Yeah.
together so great.
Yeah, this is an ecosystem, you know. The reason why Ethereum is gigantic and huge and beautiful is because a lot of these DeFi things work together, right? The buzzword of 2020 was like DeFi Legos, and these things stack together like pieces on a puzzle, right? So I think, you know, when you think of this as a whole, I mean, at one point I was borrowing money off of Anchor, um, then putting it into the earn pool. So I was earning interest on my Anchor on my loan, and then I took those interest earning tokens and I used it as collateral on Mirror Protocol.
I do know
So
that strat, and that is
yeah, and it's a good strategy. And you do that, and you borrow like gold or something. Now you have like an extremely low risk loan.
so in that situation, because one of the things that they do on Anchor Protocol when you deposit money is they do give you that AUST, which we weren't really or I didn't really mention before. So essentially, you'd be taking that AUST coin that you get, and while you're earning that 20% passive income that you're getting on Anchor Protocol, you could take that AUST, put it into something else, and then earn additional APY on top of the 20% that you were earning.
Mind blown.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's pretty good, man. Uh, and what about thoughts on, I guess, Osmosis Zone and Sift Chain, since we're talking about them?
Yeah, those are like gateways.
I really like Sift Chain because like again, like you can connect your MetaMask wallet, you can connect your Kepler wallet, and it's exactly what you just said. It's a gateway. Like you can put your
Can
ETH on here pretty easily if you need to make changes and stuff, and you want to swap your ETH out for Atom, and then
can I
import your.
just say
Yeah,
the one thing that's missing in blockchain that's sorely needed, and once it comes, like I think it's a wrap. Like everything is just like nobody can stop this. Is when we figure out how to get fiat on ramps onto Osmosis and Sift Chain.
oh, I agree.
And there's going to be some providers like around the world that will do this. Osmosis is looking into it. Sift Chain, I'm not as much sure. Um, you know, these things are being worked on. Like even Immutable X is looking at doing it for their NFT marketplace and stuff.
So
Once
Osmo
these,
so Osmosis
Mhm.
is basically working on a way right now to get your money from a bank and then
Yeah,
bring it directly onto Osmosis Zone.
yeah, and so is Icon. Icon Network is as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Terra was. Like a lot of projects are looking at this. So once you get like an on ramp that doesn't involve like huge signups and stuff like that,
It's
and
gonna
like
be really it's gonna be
ease,
it's gonna be a good
yeah,
time for everybody, but a bad time for the government.
yeah, it's gonna be a bad time for them, but a great time for us. And I mean, I don't know. I'm just this is early, right? And
No, I
we
get
might
it, but
never
like
see that come, right? But
for example, like yeah, and you're right, we might never see it. They might shut it down completely. Like for
yeah,
example, like I've been talking to a lot of people over the last few days. They're looking at getting into the crypto space. They're looking at their first NFTs and stuff like that, and there's a lot of difficulty with getting their money from their bank, actually into the crypto space because it's hard.
where are they
um,
from?
I mean, they're most of them are from the states, and I
Okay,
mean they I kind of advise them like right now, some of them are kind of going through Cash App. There's some of them have found other applications, but some
yeah.
of them have gone through Cash
Has
App. They buy the
has
Bitcoin.
Cash App not worked for anybody?
It's worked so far from everybody that I've spoken to about it that lives in the states.
Hmm.
But
I think that's like the main way.
yeah, because with the
What
Cash
what
App,
do they what do they offer if you know? Like don't know.
So all I know is that Cash App offers Bitcoin. So what they do is they go on to Cash App, they use their money to buy Bitcoin, and then with the Bitcoin they move it to something like crypto.com, and they move it to the Bitcoin wallet in crypto.com. They
Mm-hmm.
sell their Bitcoin for either Crow or they sell it for the USDT, and then they just buy the crypto they want, and then from there they can move their crypto to
Mm-hmm.
wherever they need to move it. I mean, it's very similar to us in Canada. Like lots of credit cards and lots of debit cards, they won't let us directly on ramp our money, by the way, our money.
But I
Um,
mean, I wouldn't go as much to say it's the same because Canada is pretty friendly to crypto. The one thing that you're getting the block from is credit cards.
Maybe,
So that's actually not our money.
yeah.
If you're using a Visa debit card, you're using like the Visa rails, and they're still kind of like using the credit card rails for Visa debit to work. So that's why they might be blocking like your debit card, right? Because
Yeah, because it's a
it's
Visa
still
debit card.
Visa.
I see what you're
Yeah.
saying.
But
Well,
the whole thing about like the banking stuff, like I mean, I don't know because like I mean, I haven't had a detailed conversation with anyone from the states, but I do know in New York for a fact that they don't let you buy crypto very easily.
no, for sure. And I mean, I
But
guess
Cash App is like it's the main thing.
yeah, I guess like in retrospect, we do have Newton, and as Canadians,
Yeah,
we can set up the Newton, and obviously it takes our ID and stuff, and
yeah,
there's a process, and we have to wait, and sometimes it's long.
yeah.
But like once it's done, then we can just kind of e-transfer our money directly onto Newton, and then go from there. So I mean, I see what you're saying there. But even still, like for us, most of zone to just have directly an on ramp, and I don't have to kind of provide my identification and give them my driver's license or
Up to a
passport.
certain point, right? Like usually they'll be like, oh, if you're not trading more than like $3,000 a day, then
Right.
like they won't ask you for your information.
Yeah,
But
because I mean, tax purposes, the taxman's definitely going to get you when you're making that kind of volume and
excuse me,
stuff. But yeah, if you're
it's
making,
more like for money laundering and like international like surveillance of funds cashing in and out and stuff. Did you see this? So check out that tweet from Bob Capito. Uh,
which one?
yeah,
Oh,
go to my Twitter. I retweeted this thing.
okay.
Yeah, keep scrolling down. Keep going a little. Oh, yeah, right there. Keep going. Right there. Bob the board ape.
Okay. Okay, I see. Bought this gem for
Right.
135 ETH.
And just check out who it is and what he's saying. Right, like BlackRock. Have you ever heard of
I
BlackRock?
have not. No.
So he's basically saying if you want to read it or if just so your listeners can hear what he said there. I
So,
can't really
so
read the tweet.
president and a director of BlackRock, member of BlackRock's global executive committee, and chairman of the global operating committee.
And he's in that tweet there. He's basically saying I hope every
One of our
one of
customers
my
at BlackRock
customers
can
get
also be a part of this awesome community.
right. So BlackRock is an investment firm.
Global investment manager, technology provider, asking bigger questions so more and more people can experience financial well being.
They are probably the biggest asset um, investor in like the world.
Wow.
Like over $1 trillion in assets, probably like $2 or $3 trillion
And they're buying board apes.
managing, and they're buying board apes for their billionaire customers.
Wow.
So
It's getting to that space, man.
it's
It's
getting
getting to that
real.
time. We're still
Like
early, but it's getting to that time.
these are the people that are responsible for like housing prices going up.
Man,
When you're talking about like, oh, these corporations are buying homes and stuff, like these are the guys like buying those homes and renting it to you as like property management companies.
wow. Wow. And now they're buying board apes, and more people are coming into
For
it.
real.
And that's why I wanted to like do this and talk about like again passive income and the ways that we can earn it. Like different people have different tolerance and how much money they can kind of put into things, but it's definitely worth them looking into. And I guess the last of the ones that I wanted to talk about, I can't really speak too much on it because it hasn't been working since it came out, but I think they will get their kinks out and it will kind of fix itself. Is Sunday Swap. I have to talk about Sunday Swap because as soon as it opened, I connected my wallet. I attempted to add liquidity to their liquidity pools because I have a decent amount of ADA lying around from flipping ADA NFTs, and I wanted to kind of provide some liquidity because I do believe in this project. Now, you know, Cardano is had some issues in the past with kind of getting things up and running, and again, it's still very early, so they'll get it fixed and they'll figure it out. I think Sunday Swap looks beautiful, and I look forward to kind of seeing how the passive income kind of works with this. I provided some liquidity to the ADA Pavia pool. For anybody that might be familiar with metaverses and Pavia, Cardano, well, Pavia's Cardano's metaverse at this time. But I put something there in the liquidity pool. I got some liquidity tokens, and I'm just sitting and waiting with them. It's a different way of providing liquidity than what I'm used to because I'm used to doing it the yield farming way, where you get the LP tokens and then you put those tokens, inside of their yield farm, and that's how you get the rewards. I guess Sif Chain operates a little bit differently because you just kind of deposit your crypto and they pay you out on a weekly basis. But yeah, looking forward to Sunday.
I love SipChain.
I do too. It's really awesome. Now, recently, like they did have that update where you can only cash out weekly. Well, I think it's been for a while that you can cash out weekly, but at one point I think it was like a daily thing that you could just kind of keep pulling your money out and dumping it in. But uh,
The cool thing about SipChain is that they bridge. They're pretty much like an L2. Like if you excuse me, if you think about it, they they basically allow you to bridge tokens between Atom and the any Ethereum compatible chain. So if you scroll down, I don't think they've added any BSC stuff. Oh, actually, don't even scroll. You can search. So search BNB, and let's just see if they have
no,
any BNB.
no BNB yet.
Yeah, so they will eventually add other EVN blockchains. So that's like your Avalanche, your BNB, like so you're buying the smart chains,
All those ones.
Phantom,
Yeah.
all of that stuff. So Sif Chain is kind of a sleeper because it's not like fully operational yet.
I think so
Like
too. It's
people,
still very much in beta, right?
yeah, it's still very early. Like people don't realize like this cross chain stuff is not easy, and like it's I mean it's not like completely like risk free. Like you're pretty much at this point like the way Tendermint works with Osmosis. I'm sorry, with Cosmos based blockchains, which SifChain is Cosmos based. Like you have to trust the chain to secure the assets that you're bridging. And they have like all these security features, like the validators and stuff, but you're still trusting like the validators not to screw everything up or to like run away with the money,
Right.
right? Um, I have not like full disclosure, right? Like I have not taken all of the measures to really look into their security. Um, but the fact that not a lot of people are like saying like, "Yo, this is like super insecure," like I don't know,
You're
like
not getting a
people
lot of
like
complaints about it, at
yeah,
least.
you're not getting a lot of complaints from smart people, and you're hearing people like talk about it favorably. So I'm just seeing like that as a good signal. Like I don't have much to worry. That's how I've looked at a lot of this investing stuff. Is not so much that I need to understand the tech. It's more so like let me find the people that do understand it, which are people who are builders and devs and stuff, and see what they say about different projects.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, at that point, I've kind of gone through what I wanted to go through today. We do got a couple viewers on here. I don't know if there's anybody that has any questions or anything. I could try to answer them to my best ability, or I can get Mr. Theo to answer if I don't know the answer. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I think I'm going to be calling this one a night. It was a great start. It's something I've been wanting to do for a couple of weeks now, and I want to be a little bit more consistent in talking about my experiences in crypto. So, you might get more videos like this. I appreciate everybody that came out today. So, always appreciated. And yeah, Heartless rating with a party of two just as I'm getting ready to close my stream out. Thank you very much, man. Hope you had a good stream.
Yeah, it was great, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Uh, Special shout out to Theo Beans for coming out, talking to me a little bit about some of the things that he's kind of found in the space. I have his Twitter here right now. I will probably tweet it out after I'm done this stream, but you can follow him at Crypto Keeper. He's out here paying attention to all the same things that I am, except a lot better than I am. So definitely
Just
give him a
longer, not
follow.
better.
He,
All
he's
good.
he's been in the space a little bit longer. That's all. So I've learned a lot, and I've taken some of the information he's come off of, and I've run off with that, and I've learned a lot as well. I think if you have a passion for learning this kind of stuff, I think you'll do well. Um, I know people that are interested in crypto, but they don't have the drive to do the research for the crypto, and you have to do your research because you don't know what people's intentions are when they're talking to you about crypto and when they're talking to you about projects. Their intention might be to get more people on it, so you know what they already have heavily invested in is making more money, and then they can kind of
Sell
sell it,
their
and then they
bags.
sell their bags, and then they kind of leave you holding the bags kind of thing. That's not what I want to do. I want to share my knowledge with people. We want to share our
That's a good
knowledge with
thing.
people. So yeah, again, thanks a lot, guys. Artless, again, I appreciate that raid. I'm not gaming like I normally would be. I was doing something a little bit different tonight. Um, I think the next time I come on here, I might just be talking about some of the NFT projects that I'm in. And yeah,
It's gonna be fun to see you play the earn games. Like that's gonna be
yeah, I'm looking forward to that as well. That's something that I want to do as well at one point. Actually play games that are earning me crypto at the same time. That's gonna be a great time. But yeah, guys, again, thank you for coming out today. I'm taking a look at really quickly at my follower list on Twitch. I don't see anybody right now that is streaming that I can raid. So, um, once again, thank you guys for coming out. I do appreciate the love. I appreciate everybody that followed me today. Uh, Miss Patron, Business Minded, Saint Smith, I'm Lit Games. I appreciate all of you. You guys have yourselves a great night, and feel free to reach out to me, Twitter, Twitch, whatever, if you have any questions. Take it easy, guys. I'm out.